Papa, can you hear me? Papa, can you hear me? Or is it Papa, don't preach? I'm in trouble deep. Anyway, um, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Rosa Roberts, thank you so much for being here first. Welcome to Royal Sussex. And Patricia Ann Franklin, Amelia Rodriguez. Who else is here? Jose Williams, Patricia Ann. Oh, I said that, didn't I? Connie Bowmer. Hey, Connie Bowmer. Lydia Washington is here. Lambert Charles. All right, and a host of others. Well, let me just scroll all the way down. Okay, Mama Jane, you're the last one in the chat. Thank you. Okay. Joan Garcia, no, you're the last one in the chat. Joan wants to say hi to a few people, so let's. Okay, Tanya, you're the last in here. Okay, all right. I'm sure there'll be many more. Like, there you go, Reba Henderson. Thank you so much for being here. And it continues. Very cool. All right. So, without delay, let's get into it. Happy Father's Day, especially to all the dads out there. There are some people who are, fathers in other respects, but the traditional male roles, etc. But happy Father's Day. Some people have furry companions, and they are parents to their furry companions. Like someone I know just purchased a very lavish doggy bed. I mean, this bed looks like something out of a Las Vegas casino hotel, but I think it's a bit over the top. A doggy bed should really be like an old carpet or an old sweatshirt or something like that. Not this whole. I'm just kidding. If it was, if it was me, I probably would have gone that much further. So, yeah, some people spoil their pets, but yeah. So, the fathers, in every sense, happy Father's Day, and of course, a little more graphics to bring it in. There we go. Did I spell it right? Yeah, I did. All right, very cool. Right. Hey, Susie Q. Welcome. All right. And here we go. So there, proud Papa. I tell you, sometimes I almost bring myself to tears when I think about what that institution tried to deny Harry. These are the moments that they did not expect for Harry, but God had other plans. God had other plans. Sometimes we just say God had other plans and we don't really think about the meaning of it. This is what it means. When people have laid out your destiny, when people have tried to instill some self-fulfilling prophecy, when people try to make you give up on yourself, and people try to inhibit your growth, this is just proof that God had other plans. So happy Father's Day to Prince Harry. This is what he always wanted, was a family of his own, and that's exactly what he has. So, and take a look here. One of my favorite, and I do mean one of my favorite Prince Harry moments, the Archie Papa, is that a binder? Portfolio? Yeah, let's call it a portfolio. That sounds more posh. Here's Archie's Papa portfolio. Love that. And why does he have that? Because he has an amazing woman in his life. That's why. It's all because of Rachel Meghan Markle, aka Meghan Markle, also known as the Duchess of Sussex, a real life princess. That is why he has that. I'm sure that he had a lot of people in his life that cared about him before Meghan showed up, but they may have cared about him, but I don't know that anybody could have cared for him in the way that she has. I mean, that is a moment. That is definitely a moment. Meghan is the moment, as I learned from dear sweet Anita of My Duke and I. She was the one who said that to me first. She said, Meghan is the moment. And I was like, yes, yes. So when I saw this, I was let out just like everybody else. I let out that big what else could you do? It is like cute overload. It is cute overload. So there you go. And let me see. What do we have? Oh, there's a close up of it. There is a close up. That's one of those things where you say, ah, nice touch, nice touch. Absolutely, it is. Absolutely, it is. So, if you guys remember, especially if you're new to the squad, I will inform you. This is from that trip to New York that the Sussexes made oh so long ago. This was, let me see, did they go to the UN? I think they went to the residence of the UN ambassador or something like that. I think that's what that was about. But either way, very, very cool. You know, strangely, as I'm sitting here, I am thinking about another couple of photos that I wanted to share. And I really regret I didn't put them in there, but let me see if I can find them really fast. Welcome. If you just joined us, don't forget to hit the like button. Also, feel free to share Royal Sussex. And oh, there it is. There it is. I found it. I'm going to share this with you guys very soon. Very, very soon. I'm stalling because from time to time, I start thinking of things. I'm just like, oh, why do you think it takes me so long? It's because I'm always going back to do something different. Oh, and let's see, the Lady Sussex, she uploaded a video about an hour ago. And I'm so frustrated because that is part of my Sunday morning, but she apologized for the late start. So, okay. Oh, there it is. Just one more. Okay, let me share some of these favorite Harry Papa moments. Some of my favorite Harry Papa moments. Do I have one more? Do I have one more? Let me see. Wait for it. Wait for it. Thank you that just joined us. I'm stalling because I thought of something at the last minute, of course. All right. I'm coming, I promise. Oh, what about that one? What about that one? Okay, I got it. Okay, don't leave anybody. I'm just loading a couple of more photos of Papa Harry, and I'll be right with you. All right. That should do it. That should do it. Huh. Oh, one last one. Okay. Okay, I'm coming. Okay, let's get on with it. And next, oh, look, I love this one right here. I love this one right here as I stall while I load a slide. Okay. You're going to say, oh, yeah, Baron, that was the right call. That was the right call. Take a look at this. This is what I wanted to share with you. Harry has been wanting to be a papa for so long. I wish I could have shared more, but there's this one. And how about this one? This is one of my favorites. The nurturing, the caring, the love and affection that Harry has shown to so many people of all walks of life, of every ethnic background, every place in the world that he's gone. While his brother, I won't say anything bad about him. Oh well. Carolyn Simon, thank you. Or is it Simone? Thank you so much for the super sticker. Simon, not Simone, Simon. Thank you so much for, it's not Carolyn, it's Carolita. I'm sorry, I didn't take a close look at it. Thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Father's Day Sunday to you. And it is Father's Day here in the United States and in the UK. One more, take a look at that. Take a look at that. See what I mean? He is such a natural. He is such a natural. Thank goodness Harry has a family of his own, just what he always wanted. And then this one right here. Love, 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 love this photo. Love this photo. It just goes to show what's in his heart. How in the world? Oh, in Canada too? Happy Father's Day in Canada. How in the world can those monsters in the tabloid press, a lot of them know Harry. They know what's in his heart. And yet those monsters vilify this man because of racism, because of that cult-like connection that they have with the royal family. And for that, he has been attacked over and over again. I won't even say punished because that would imply that he had done something wrong. But all he wanted was a family of his own. And if possible, that he could stay within the institution, serve the Queen, his commander-in-chief, and also have a partner by his side. And if you recall from Spare, what was it William said? William implied that maybe that's not in the cards for you. He didn't say it like that, but that's what he meant. That's what he meant. You will be the Spare forever. Rick, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for being here on Father's Day. And take a look here. A dream come true. This is the way it's supposed to be. Happy Father's Day. And of course, the whale child. If you remember when he made that trip back to the UK that time, and this was during the height of the pandemic, they went through some exceptional protocols to make it possible for Harry to visit with the families of whale child. So as you can see, the event is held outside with a lot of fresh air. Perfect way to do things during the pandemic, by the way. And lastly, this kid, I don't know who he is, but as you know, every time we reach another milestone here at Royal Sussex, this kid and Harry are used for the updates of the milestones. So, all right. And with that, I am going to get back over to my regular stack of photos and slides. So, just so you guys know, I have said it, some of you guys have said it, that they monitor the Sussex squad. Remember that time I said, oh, Harry may actually win a Grammy Award for the spoken word. And what happened? I think it was within 48 hours. Was it 24 hours? They had an article in one of the rags saying that a source said Harry may actually win a Grammy in so many words. You know what I'm saying? It was just like right after I mentioned that on Royal Sussex. Next thing you know, they had an article about Harry winning a Grammy. Huh. So check this out. Boring. Boring. Didn't I say it was boring? I said boring. And jumping Jack Flash, look at what happened. It's so boring. Trooping of the Color fans say they miss seeing extended royal family on Buckingham Palace balcony after King's decision to pare down the monarchy. I just said that. I just said that like 24 hours ago. And before you know it, my boring, and I'm just going to put that out there, possibly me saying boring, saying what everybody else was thinking. Now, I cannot prove that it had anything to do with Royal Sussex, but isn't it a coincidence? Just like with the Grammy Award, this happens. Huh, interesting. And of course, I did have the balcony as my as my inspiration for boring. So someone at the Daily Mail watches Royal Sussex. I know I couldn't possibly accept that tainted money that they have. Could I? We'll see. Boring. Oh man. There's some pretending to be squatty. Let me see. They are definitely in the chats and taking notes. Yeah, Adrian Burrow, I believe that. I believe that. I am more than sure that they routinely monitor the Sussex squad in the chats, also on the spaces, and so on and so on. But I'm just like, what a coincidence. I mean, it's only what? The thing was yesterday, and already they're dubbing it boring. Oh, well, I'm sure it's just coincidence. It probably had nothing. You got that right, Joan Garcia. They don't need our help. It is glaringly obvious how boring it is. And then, oh, wait, one more. Take a look here. Let us not forget what the actress from um, the Bridgerton said. Like she said, like she said, if you know, you know. That's the other part of it is it's may as well just be the coronation day. It's just the way it's going to be, even though it is a very diverse nation. There are people who will be forever satisfied that the very top of the social pyramid, at the top of the power structure of that country, you're going to have this all white family. Um, and that's probably the way it's going to remain. I'm pretty sure of that. Um, yeah. But then again, you never know. You never know. Who knows what will happen with George when his time comes. But one thing's for sure, I don't think Willie's going to put up with it. I do not think Willie's going to put up with it, especially since we all assume that he's the one who asked about the baby's skin color. All right. Bridgerton star Ajoa Ando stuns TV presenters by calling the Buckingham Palace balcony terribly white during the live coronation coverage. Well, out of context, yeah, it probably does sound horrible to some people, but if you put it back into the proper context, she said, "We have gone from the rich diversity of the Abbey." That is how that started off. It wasn't that she just sat there and said, "Wow, look at all the white people." That's not it. She just wanted to remind people that in a very, or should I say, increasingly diverse nation like the United Kingdom, you still have this persistent inequality and lack of representation. My words, not hers. But that is what I am going to extrapolate from that comment. Whoops, did I just use a big word? Was it grammatically correct? I'd be surprised if it was, but okay. Okay. Huh. You know what happened, you guys? I was listening to Ivy earlier. Hello, Ivy here. Bye for now. Bye from Ivy. Bye. Yes, I was listening to Ivy earlier. So if I sound like I have somehow managed to get a formal education overnight, that's because I was watching Ivy earlier. Um, I always walk away from Ivy feeling like a more intelligent, more informed person than when I started the day off. So that's why I always recommend Sussex Global UK. All right. Me too, Joan. Me too. Love Ivy. Hello, Ivy here. And take a look at this, you guys. Did you know that there was a secret balcony? There is a portal to another universe, to another time and place, another dimension. Take a look through the archway there, and you could see it. That is the balcony that I imagine was used before they added the front to the Buckingham Palace. Originally, Buckingham House was not this big square building. It actually had a what do you call it? It had that courtyard area beyond what is now the front of the palace. And so the palace itself is actually like a yellow, what is it? Um, what is that stone called? The, is it Cotswold? No, not Cotswold. What am I trying to say? Anyway, you know which stone I'm talking about. Bath stone, the yellow bath stone. And eventually, they decided to add the front of the building with that Portland white stone. So only the front of the building has that white facade. The rest of it is all kind of yellow and or golden. And so if you look through there, you can see that there are some minor royals, some less desirable royals. For some reason, Charles, who is increasingly becoming a bit soft in the head, I think, thought it a good idea for only those members of the family to stand on the balcony. I think it was a bad call. Nobody cares what I think. I mean, look at that. It doesn't make any sense that people are spending that much money on that institution and you're seeing fewer people. I get the idea that Charles thinks that he has given people value for money. If you want to give people value for money, then stop taking so much from the public. That's value for money. So if you look, there they are back there, and then take another look, you can see even closer. Timothy and Flora Vastenburg, the Earl of St. Andrews, Lord Nicholas Windsor, Lady Gabriella and Thomas Kingston, also attending the Trooping of the Color Parade. So yeah, that's who's back there. I would have never known that there was another balcony back there, but there is. So yeah, everything beyond that archway is the old house. But here in the front, that is what was added during the time of Victoria, I think it was. And it was Victoria who changed it from a house to a palace. Okay. Yeah, right. I mean, the whole idea that they are so restrictive and that they have all of the ranks and protocols, I think it's so silly. I'm sure people would have more respect for them if they acted more like a family and less like this this military uh, corps or something like that. Let me, Joyceville says, when did they start using a second balcony and the main balcony is in field? That's stupid. Yeah, well, they are out there to watch the flyover. That's why they're out there, is because they weren't allowed on the front balcony to watch the flyover. So they retreated to the second balcony to watch it. Um, I think it's silly too, but then they don't ask me about these things. But yeah, um, how sad and pathetic is that? How sad and pathetic is that, that you have the rest of, well, not even the rest of the family, but a few of the family members retreating to the second balcony or inner quadrangle, whatever you call it, that you would have them retreat there. But yeah, this is what they were watching. Oh, look at there. There's actually, I believe there's a fourth balcony. You see there? Not a fourth, but a third one. There's one on the far side, and there's probably two facing each other inside of the courtyard. Ah, and you know what else I just noticed? I bet you those are either, I bet you those are elevators. See those tall things that look like a, look like a little tower inside there? I wonder if those are elevators or something that they added. Very interesting. I wonder. But yeah, so that's what they were watching, was the, oh, sorry about that. William's head. Um, that's what they were watching. They were watching the flyover. Isn't that something? Probably not the best view, I'm sure. But yeah, there you go. That is the Windsors. That is what Charles waited 70 years to inherit. So he can, I guess, run it into the ground. Let's see. Hey, Church Nelly, tampon is so doggone petty. To put them on the second balcony, no one could see. I know. Yeah, okay. Let me see. Don says, before Prince Harry and Andrew was no longer working members of the family, all members of the family were on the balcony, as evident by 2019, right? As evident. Let's see. Ruth Lopez says, I hope Charlotte escapes. She sure seems to be the one really seeing what's going on. And someday she's going to learn the real truth about her real grandmother. Right? And then, exactly, exactly. Um, oh man. I hope and pray that I am here to see the future for those kids. I mean, far into the future. I would be so curious to see how it turns out, because I promise you, I believe that Charlotte is going to be the next person on that throne. I don't think it's going to be George, and certainly not Louis. If you just look at her temperament and her personality right now, you can see these things at a very young age. Although I don't want to be guilty of doing the same thing to them that has been done to Harry, but it just seems like that's the future. That is the future. But I don't know. Maybe George will grow into the role. William certainly did. I'm not saying that he's going to be good at the role, but he seems to have drank the Kool-Aid and is all primed for the position. Let's see. Jenny Rock Bailey says they are just fooling themselves. The world is watching with disgust. Yes, yes, and yes, they are fooling themselves. And people see it for what it is. And still, they have this increasing number of young people in the UK that um, have no use for the royal family. Okay, Joyce Post says they have boxed themselves in a corner using working royals only on the balcony, so they had to find another balcony to put the other people, or just to keep Harry and Meghan off the main balcony. Yeah, and maybe that's like, this is the result of trying to restrict Harry and Meghan. They probably have painted themselves into a corner. Yeah, a bad idea that just kind of took a life. Thank you so much for your comment. So, this is what I watched last night. Yes, Marshar, I agree. Princess Anne would have been better. I think she would have been better. Scandalous phone hacking on trial. Now, unless you have access to the BBC and a VPN, there would be no way for you to watch this. It's certainly not on YouTube. At some point, somebody may leak it onto YouTube or some other social media. However, this, I think it was an hour and a half long. It's only available on the BBC. Again, I say you must have a VPN to get a hold of it. Unfortunately, a couple of squatties conspired to make sure that I could watch it, and boy, am I so glad I did. This was some incredible journalism. And dare I say, even though it was the BBC, and you know the BBC can be very that way, even though it's the BBC, it was very fair and balanced. They told the story. I would dare say they did not hold anything back. And if you can find it, do watch it. It is called Scandalous Phone Hacking on Trial. And there were people at every level of this, except for royals. They didn't have any royals that sat down and spoke, but they had actors, politicians, and your everyday working class people involved in this broadcast. And I thought it was fantastic. Royal Suitor said, seeing good reviews for the BBC documentary Scandalous Phone Hacking on Trial, hear from many of the victims and whistleblowers mentioned in Prince Harry versus the Mirror Group. Watch on BBC iPlayer or read the highlights in the thread. Well, if you are on Twitter and you follow Royal Suitor, then you could read some of the highlights from the thread. But yeah, it was very, very good. Let's see, what's that, Baron? If that's Chelsea Davy, I remember that story. I don't know, actually, if that is Chelsea. I think it is. I think it is Chelsea. And again, they spoke to people representing just about every group affected, but Chelsea Davy was not one of the people. They didn't have anybody who was close or is close to Prince Harry featured in the story, but still, it was very good. Also, this is out of order. But since we're here, just a reminder, Suits is on Netflix. So if you have not started the series, if you never watched the series, take a look right there. As you can see, top 10 TV shows in the U.S. today, Suits is in third place. Suits is in third place when it comes to the top viewed TV shows on Netflix. So pretty good, considering that they just made their appearance to Netflix yesterday, which just so happened to coincide with the birthday celebration for Charles III. Well, at least they didn't schedule it for his coronation, although I wish they would have. Why are all of these out of order? I wasn't through with that yet. Oh, I know why it's out of order. Anyway, we'll get back to it. From psychologist Queen Mathilde to financial whiz Maxima, these are Europe's cleverest royals. But how do Kate? I knew I wasn't going to get it out of my mouth without laughing. But how do Kate and Sophie measure up? Huh. Oh, I don't know. That's like comparing a sewer worker to to an astronaut, isn't it? That is like comparing a oh, let me see, a teenage babysitter to a senator. I mean, use your imagination. How do they compare? Where you have a speech therapist. Oh, actually, you know what? I wouldn't mind getting her together with Kate. But anyway, I digress. You have a speech therapist and a psychologist. Again, I wouldn't mind getting her together with Kate. Because if anybody needs an intervention in that group, I would say that would be a good place to start is with Kate. Kate is long overdue for an intervention, and her mama too. They both need an intervention. Okay, so where was I at? And then, of course, there's advertising executive. That's what's her name? Mary from Denmark, Crown Prince Mary, Princess Mary. And then, of course, Queen Letizia from Spain. How about I know some of these ladies by their name, huh? And then this financial sales executive, I don't know where she's from. Where is she from? Sweden or something? I don't recognize her. And then, of course, there is Beatrice and Eugenie. Now, I don't know which is which, but there's Beatrice and Eugenie. You have a company vice president. Oh, God, you know what? Give me a break. All right, I'm sure she's doing something. And then there's the gallery director. That I could believe. And let us not forget the high achievers. The newly minted Duchess of Edinburgh, some 30 years in the making, 40 years. How long did it take for her to become the Duchess she is today? Oh, by the way, I think they have their wedding anniversary tomorrow. So there's Sophie. And then, of course, from party pieces and a salesperson on the high street, someone who used to fold jumpers on the high street, to Queen of all England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland someday, Kate. Kate, from the yachts of the Mediterranean to the private aircraft of William the Magnificent, there is Kate Middleton, one of the Wisteria sisters, I'm afraid. Kate is on that list. Now, it just goes to show that some people are not without a sense of humor, that they actually put Kate on that list. How she figures into all of this, I'll never know. But they had something listed. I won't even bore you with it. But she worked at a place called Jigsaw, which was a clothing store. And they said she left the apparel shop on the high street so that she could pursue a career in photography. And wouldn't you know, as fate would have it, before she ever had anything published or before she ever had any type of art exhibit or even a coffee table book, she was snatched away from that thriving career by William, who thought, gee, everybody else turned me down. Do you want to get married? You could be the queen one day. And of course, Carol said yes. And then eventually Kate said, what? I'm sorry, we can't hear you. Is that yes? Okay. And then Kate said yes. So that is how that happened. But I just don't think she belongs on this list. I don't think that Sophie belongs on the rest of these ladies are high achievers. I'm going to give the York sisters some credit for what they do. But everybody on that top row for sure, those are high achievers. Kate does not belong on this list. I'm sorry, but early years Middleton does not belong on this list. I would even give Sophie flowers for the fact that she had her own business that she run into the ground, and she showed up one day at Edward's door penniless, and then they got married. I will give her credit for that. However, I can't give Kate credit for anything because Kate is nobody's idea of a what do you call it? A leader in any sense, a business person, some type of organizer, should I say? Not in the least. This whole farce about the early years, where she took part of a TED talk from a 9-year-old girl and seemed to have made it her own, allegedly. I do not consider that as someone who measures up to a financial whiz, a psychologist and speech therapist, a journalist, a financial sales executive, advertising executive, company vice president, gallery director, even Sophie. I just don't see it. I think that this is a severe overreach. It is a ploy to big her up. They're trying to big her up so that when she goes to these events and functions with other heads of states and their spouses, that she was seen more credible instead of the girl who worked at Jigsaw on the high street and used to spend her summers on yachts. Nice try, though. Nice try. I don't get it. I don't get it. This is insulting to the rest of the group. Fatima says apparently Kate knows how to serve drinks on board a yacht while showing her legs, and she was really good on folding clothes when she worked at a retailer. You get a bell for that. You get a bell. You get a bell. Everybody gets a bell. What's that? Kenitha Ash said Sophie did a secretarial course at Kent College. Really? That is her credentials? Not to, go not to come after the secretaries. No offense to secretaries, but really? That's her credentials? No wonder her company tanked. Wow. Isn't that something? They are trying to big up Kate and Sophie by listing them amongst all these other women who have achieved things in their lives. Wow. As I live and breathe. She's doing that dance called the tater dig. Oh, this is my new go-to for Kate. Anyway, you guys, of course, to be fair to the Princess of Wales, and you know how fair I am, I don't like to just put stuff like that out there without hearing from her, since she's seems to be a part of the conversation. So anyway, I'm going to reach out to Kensington Palace now for comment.
Obviously, it'd be. I would love to have met her, and she's obviously she's an inspirational woman to look up to, obviously on to this day, and going forward and things. It is, it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and very inspirational. So yeah, I do.
Well, and there you go. She does. She do and she does. Alan Vernon says, Bear and I am old enough to remember when Prince Edward was rumored to be gay, so they married him off. I remember that. People were worried about him. And so what happened? He married a coal miner's daughter. Congratulations to him for fulfilling his goals to be married, to have a family, one of the Crown Estate properties. And I cannot think of anything else he does. Well, he's got his father's title, but other than that, and you know what? He had his production company. So at least he tried. It wasn't for the fact that he didn't try. So. Okay, and thank you again, Alan Vernon, for that. Leg says, extensions add experience based on history, right? Are we speaking hair extensions? Are we speaking hair extensions? Because if we're talking about hair extensions, then she ought to be a college professor. She should be the next Stephen Hawkins. Thank you so much for that, Legs. Why is my bell acting funny? My clapper. There it goes. My clapper got stuck. We are talking about the bell, right? And Sean says, royal message. We haven't heard from Her Majesty in quite some time. Let me see. Let me find Her Majesty. Because when we have a special announcement from Her Majesty, we have to do it right. Let me see here. There we go. Oh my goodness, this is so funny. I haven't done this in so long. Okay. I, Queen Elizabeth II, ruler of the United Kingdom, and oh talented family, do hereby declare that I don't know anyone on the bottom row, including Camilla, who we don't want to see in any pictures. Queen out. Oh, thank you so much, Sean, for maintaining this portal, this connection to Her Majesty the Queen in the great beyond. Queen out. Oh man, I haven't done that in a while. I almost couldn't get it out. What's that? Let me see. Kathy G says, let me go back over here. Kay would have benefited from the United Negro College Fund slogan, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. I love it. And so is a great platform like Princess of Wales. It is going to be wasted on her and those murmurs about the early years. So, okay. And let me go to the next one. Now, I don't know if this is on her resume or CV, if you will, but If I had to guess what other skill or occupation that is that Beatrice may have, what do you think it might be? I have a theory, but what do you guys think it is? If there was some other hidden talent that Beatrice has that has not been mentioned thus far, what do you think it is? I'm going to tell you mine, even though I think I'm going to get in trouble. But how about hypnotist? Oh, man. I'm going to say hypnotist. I don't know. I'm just saying. I have no reason why I'm saying that. It's just the first thing that comes to mind is hypnotist. It is kind of hard to turn away, isn't it? And just like any portrait, they kind of follow you around the room, don't they? Like step off to one side, they just follow you. Oh, God forgive me. Okay, now let's move on. So, and then there's the Duchess of Sussex. The Duchess of Sussex, um, this is how she measures up. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, is a feminist, a champion of human rights and gender equality, and global role model. Her lifelong advocacy for women and girls remains a constant thread she weaves through both humanitarian and business ventures. She has served as United Nations Women's Advocate for women's political participation and leadership, a World Vision Global Ambassador, and a leading counselor to the One Young World since 2014. That was pre-Harry. She and her husband, Prince Harry, founded the Archewell Foundation in 2020 to support communities in need at a micro and macro level. That means big and small. In both moments of crisis as well as for long-term aid in 2022, Meghan launched Archetypes, a record-breaking podcast a record-breaking podcast exploring the labels that try to hold women back. It debuted at #1 in the US, UK, Australia, Ireland, and New Zealand. She is a New York Times bestselling author, and let's see, with her personal, let me pull that down so I can see it. Okay. And with her personal and highly celebrated children's book, The Bench, Meghan is also a passionate advocate for family rights and an investor in dynamic female funded companies. She and her husband, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, have also been the recipients of the NAACP President's Award, as well as the Robert F. Kennedy Ripples of Hope Award. Meghan is noted as one of the most powerful and influential women in the world, topping lists such as the Time Magazine Most Influential People, the Financial Times 25 Most Influential Women, Variety Power of Women, and British Vogue's Vogue 25. Meghan resides in California with her husband, their children, and their 3 dogs. And then I added this myself and some more stuff. So that, of course, was from the Ms. Award that Meghan received. And when they wrote this, notice that they did not include the royal family. They did not include anything about that royal family, which for sure means that she is standing on her merit as a role model, as well as an influential woman, a woman of substance and character, all of those things. And none of that has anything to do with the royal family. So there you go. And let's not forget, easy on the eyes. definitely easy on the eyes. And I know that you all have probably seen the latest of those PAP photos. Of course, I'm not going to share them here. However, if there was one thing that I was able to take from that incident, makeup free Meghan Markle. Now, yes, it is pretty awful, I think, that that happened in the first place. But let me just tell you this much. If you are going to be stalked like prey, if you're going to have some weirdo trying to take your photo by any means necessary, the fact that they wrote that column by saying makeup free Meghan Markle, and with her looking that good, I am troubled by it, but I also find it quite flattering on her behalf that they reminded people that she wasn't wearing any makeup, just her own natural beauty. So, within all of that terrible stuff that they shared, all of the innuendos, and of course, the things they said, at least they got one thing right: makeup free Meghan Markle. How you like that? Now, someone made this using the AI. As you know, one of the things that we have seen a lot lately is these computer generated photos based on whatever there is on uh, the World Wide Web. And I thought this is like almost like a painting. It's like a painting. The computer painted this. Love it. I think it's just absolutely beautiful. I've never seen Megan with her hair in a bun that big, but I think it looks absolutely stunning. Yeah, love, love, love it. And with that, let me go over here and take a look at a couple of your comments. A royal court that was demanding that Meghan be 50% of herself is pushing her backwards, and now she is moving forward. And Foo, you got a bell. Let me see. Teresa McDougall with makeup, you can see her at 11 years of age. Her youthful look. Thank you for that. Oh, Pam Porter says the firm and the institution could accept a woman, couldn't accept that is a woman as dynamic as Meghan. No wonder she was advised to be 50% less. Our girl was never going to pull off being less than. Certainly not. Certainly not. I think it's cruel to try to suppress someone's talent, and in particular, based on their race and gender. Well, women in that family are routinely suppressed. Well, what makes this doubly awful is that it was based on race as well. I think that the some of the people in that institution, family and courtiers, couldn't stand the idea that someone of African descent would dare try to show them up. Of course, you don't really have to try; you just show up and you show them up. But yeah, and of course, there was nothing deliberate about it. Meghan was just being herself. That American work ethic, which I am so proud of, I have to say that. That's the way I was raised, and that is, the way it's done. I come from a family of people that work. If I can crawl, I can work. That's how I was raised. So, okay. Femi, I don't really know Femi, but I do follow him now. I don't usually do tweets like this, but have you seen how ridiculously educated Dr. Sholamos Shobamimu is? Having someone that qualified speak for our side of politics should not be taken for granted, especially given the sea of tabloids regurgitating hacks flooding our media. Well, that he said a mouthful there. And I wanted to share this with you just to remind you about how well educated she is, because sometimes we see her toying with those buffoons on television that try to pass themselves off as bright and intelligent. They are no match for Dr. Shola. There are very few people on television that she has encountered that are at her level, and that's just a fact. Dr. Shola, I would say verbally and mentally mops the floor with those people, and that's why it's so hard to shut her down, even though they try to speak over her. That is why it's so difficult. At age 19, she obtained her first degree and honors LLB from, is that a liberal arts or something? I don't know what an LLB is. From the University of Buckingham, going on to earn a MA degree, is that a master's degree, I'm sure, in diplomatic studies from the University of Westminster, and an LLM degree from commercial and corporate law from the London School of Economics, a PhD in law from Birkbeck University in London, and an executive MBA from the University of Cambridge. Hot dog. No wonder they're so intimidated. And they should be. They really, really should be. Oh, come on, Dr. Shola. All right. Let me go back there. So, as we ponder this whole thing with the Sussexes and Spotify, let me just say this. I looked at this Joe Rogan challenges furious vaccine researcher in a debate. Anti-vaxxer, what's his name? Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on his podcast for $100,000 charity donation as Elon Musk piles on the doctor claiming he knows he's wrong. So this is one of the people working at that platform. Joe Rogan, someone who has a $100 million deal with Spotify. $100 million deal with Spotify. And we already know that there was a clash with the Sussexes and Joe Rogan. I don't think it was a direct clash, but they were on different sides of the whole vaccine debate. And although the Sussexes never pushed the idea that everyone should take it, they were very much proponents of equity in vaccine distribution. So when you have someone like Joe Rogan at that platform who dominates everything because of his huge contract, I mean, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. $100 million contract he has with them. They are going to lean in favor of the $100 million man. We don't know how much the Sussexes earned with their time at Spotify, but I don't suspect it was $100 million. It doesn't mean that the Sussexes didn't make the choice to leave. It was stated that it was a mutual parting of ways, and maybe that's all there is to it. They are obviously going in a direction that perhaps the Sussexes do not agree with, and so they decided to just step away from it. Nothing wrong with that. I suppose that if you're going to pay someone $100 million, you want to get your money's worth. So I'm sure that there are other reasons why other people left Spotify, but there are some people that have left, and also they have been reorganizing their company, and that may have been a factor. So I just want to add this to the possibilities of why the Sussexes are no longer there. The possibilities, not exactly the possibilities. This may be just one of a few things that has happened while they were there. So, just giving you something to think about. McNaughton Hine Murray, I was raised to never depend on anyone, work hard, and be independent. Tell that to Kate. Thank you so much for that. And I share that sentiment. Thank you for the super sticker and for watching Royal Sussex. But yeah, you make a great point. I think or should I say, I believe that in a society that has, where people have access to higher education, and in this information age that we live in, there is just no excuse for giving away your independence to anyone. There's no excuse for that. There's just too much available. If you are of sound mind and body, if you can work from day to day, if you can raise your family, then you can have some degree of independence where you don't allow someone else to take over your agency. You don't give your agency away to someone else. I think it's very important. I love independence. I don't want anyone to be completely dependent upon me, and I definitely do not look to other people to solve basic problems for myself. There's nothing wrong with asking for help when you need it, but also you have to, like for instance, when I started Royal Sussex, I was pretty much on my own. And I had to sort some things out. Now, I could have gotten some help from here or there, but I didn't want to do that because in order to do things right, I feel like you have to know how things work. And especially when I feel creative and I want to do something, I don't want to wait a couple days in case somebody has time to address something for me. So by trial and error, I flex my independence and try to do things the best I can. Now, I replaced a water pump one time on a old car, and the car ended up catching on fire, but I don't regret it because I was being independent. And actually, I was trying to get someone else to do it. And they said, go and get some sockets and do it yourself. And I'm so glad that I did that. And I don't regret, probably compromising the vehicle, but I was glad. I was so proud of myself. My knuckles were all bloody from, scraping and knocking against the inside of the engine and stuff, but I got it done. So that was fun. Thank you so much for the super chat. And did I see another? Oh, Joan Garcia says, Baron Pamela Mason Davies just said Meghan Markle's agent just confirmed her podcast Archetype may have found a new home in She Knows magazine. Actually, I was going to speak about that later, but thank you so much for the super chat. I was going to save it for last because I was going to put a huge grain of salt with that, but it's all good. And yes, that is a possibility. I saw that earlier, and we'll have to wait and see because, as you know, if we don't hear it from the Sussexes, etc., etc. But thank you so much for that. And that should come as a relief to everyone who's been concerned about that. Okay, and here we go. It's a lot to celebrate. Archewell Productions. Now, this was posted by one of the squatties. Spotify and Netflix contracts, September 2020. The Me You Can't See, May 2021. The Bench, 2021. June 2021. Wow, it's been 2 years already, huh? Archetypes, August 2022. and Live to Lead, December 2022, and Spare, January 2023. So the Sussexes have not been resting on their laurels. This is the things that they have done in partnership, just a few things. There has been others. But even though the Derangers are trying to sell this narrative that the Sussexes are at their wits' ends and that everything is falling apart, nothing could be further from the truth. And if what Joan Garcia has shared is true, and I don't see why it wouldn't be, but we're gonna again take that with a grain of salt. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. So thank you to the squatty who posted that. If you do recognize yourself, you get a bell. Thank you. And that's what I think the value of the Sussex Squad is that we get these reminders from time to time. And we share this type of information to encourage one another. And that is a good thing. I love it. I'm so glad for that, because even though we are here for the Sussexes, our mission is so much greater than just Harry and Meghan. There's a lot of other things that we have discussed. We help each other. We pray for each other. We inform each other. And this is a great example of that type of support from other people in the Sussex Squad, who at the most critical time, when people are trying to demoralize the Sussex Squad, we get these kind of reminders. So thank you for that. Now, here's one way to celebrate Father's Day. This girl, I tell you, she must really love her dad. I love my dad. Nothing says I love you like taking a screwdriver to dad's car. That way, as he rides down the street, he will be reminded by everyone who glances at that car and smiles. He'll know that he is loved. So this girl needs a trip to Toys R Us or something for her deed. All right, so this was from that docuseries. I mean, that documentary. What's the documentary? Or that whatever it was on the BBC. Remember, I told you I don't know what happened to it. Well, that's what happened to it. It was further down. So let's go back here again. There we go. So that's it. Scandalous phone hacking on trial. Oh, thank you, Legs. Prince Harry is CEO at Better Up. People forget. Exactly. He is the Chief Impact Officer, CIO, I'm sorry, Chief Impact Officer. Thank you, Legs. I just popped a breath mint in my mouth, so if I sound funny, that's because my mouth is watering because of this. Hold on, let me deal with this. Great. It was a blood orange vitamin C sugar-free mint from Trader Joe's. It tastes like those blood oranges. Oh, so good. I love anything from Trader Joe's. So that's that. And let me go back to where I left off. Okay. There it is right there. There it is right there. So these are just a handful of the people. You can see Dan Evans, Dan Waddell, and Neil Wallace. These are people in the business. There goes Duncan Larcombe. He was one of the people that was responsible for gathering some of that information And I'm just showing you, there's Sienna Miller. Just want you to see the kind of people that they interviewed. They did like these little cameos in between the story. Sienna Miller's, God, she cried. It was a few of them. It was very emotional to hear their testimony. Like when they found out that she was pregnant, and she actually interrogated a group of friends and family, the 5 people who she told, trying to figure out which one of them was responsible. They all were crying. There was a lot of hurt and pain because of this. And of course, it was all orchestrated by the tabloid media. They have ruined so many lives, have made people paranoid, have cost people friends and family. I could not tear myself away from it. I watched it straight through. You may recognize this actor. I forgot his name, but he too was hacked. And of course, Hugh Grant. God bless him for following this through the way he has. And John Tulloch, he was one of the 7 survivors. They hacked him. Why they needed to know so much about him, the victim, I could not tell you. But it was this mad competition to learn as much as possible, whenever possible. It begs belief that someone could be so wantedly cruel to another human being. And this woman right here, I don't know that they ever showed her face. I don't recall. But she also survived the 7/7. And they did everything they could to hunt her down, to find her identity, to know everything that there was to know about her. It wasn't satisfactory enough to know, or satisfying enough to know, that these people survived to give other people hope, but instead they were hunting these people down to find out every little thing that they could about them. Insane. Give me just a second, you guys. Oh, I hope I did mute the microphone. Oh, man, I hope I muted that microphone. Oh, man. Well, you would tell me if you heard me, right? Oh, man, there are people out there who are evil. Who are pure evil in sheep clothing. Absolutely. But Harry's no monster. Harry's no monster. Charles, he's a monster. And of course, Camilla is the wicked witch of the devil. But Harry's no monster, and he's bringing it all out with his book. Oh, okay. So there it is. There's my grain of salt. Let me just pull this down. I cannot see that upper corner. Anyway, Meghan Markle's agent just confirmed her podcast, Archetype, may have found a new home. And again, take that with a grain of salt, but this was reported earlier. Now, this was the only place that I've seen it. And again, we have not heard from the Sussexes, but in due time we will. And there's no reason why it wouldn't be true, because let's just accept the fact that Archetypes was very successful, and it will continue to be successful. And that Joe Rogan person that I mentioned earlier was knocked off of his throne of 3 years by the Duchess of Sussex with her Archetypes podcast. So no reason to believe that it wouldn't be true. I'm sure that there were people out there hoping and waiting for them just in case they found a new home. Things are going onward and upward for the Sussexes, no matter what anybody says. They are the most influential couple in the world. They are the most influential royal couple, and they are going to be incredibly successful on their road to becoming financially independent billionaires. And I am going to do everything that I can to help. So thank you all so much. And with that, I am going to, as usual, recognize our queens for everything that they have been and continue to be to the Sussexes. And very soon I will be looking for the last word. Thank you all so much for your contributions to support Royal Sussex. And also thank you, moderators, for keeping this ever so safe a space for us. And let me see. I think that's it for now. And so we will close it out with, let me see. I'm looking for the last word of the day. Oh, thank you, B10. Thank you. All right. Let me see. All right. B. Martin says, good night, everyone. Stay blessed. Great job, Baron. Thank you. Thank you very much. And Big Mama says, bye. Oh, here's a doozy. Good night, everyone. Health, wealth, and inner peace. I like that. Thank you, Teresa McDougall. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Love you guys. I will see you all tomorrow. Okay. And with that, we are going to cue the Ginger Avenger.
love Prince Harry, and Prince Harry should be king. He should be king. Prince Harry, not William. William and all of them in there, Camilla is the wicked witch of the devil himself, because she is part of why Princess Diana is here. I do not like them. I am from the islands, and we don't need them in the Caribbean. Get lost. Demolish the monarchy. This is 2023, okay? And I will support Harry 100%. I do feel for him. Yes, I do. And everything in the book is the truth. And Charles is the monster, not Harry. Harry is the monster, not Meghan. He's bringing the story out right now. They are evil people. They're not nice. Behind the wall, we all are one human being, and behind that wall there are no difference with me and you and any other bits. Give the people back the money. They are just welfare recipients, living off the taxpayers of the British people. And the British people are stupid, supporting that nonsense monarchy. It is nothing. It's just a title. It means nothing, a title. I'm angry at them.